Hey everyone, I'm Jack, and I teach regular people just like you how to travel on any budget. In this video, which is part of an ongoing series where I give different travel tips to help you travel even better, I'm going to be talking about the different methods that I've used and that I've learned of how to make money even while traveling the world. Let's get right into it. The first method, which I would say is probably the easiest because you could do it from anywhere and you could monetize any skill that you have, is freelance work. I've done this in the past, although there are a lot of websites you could use, such as Upwork or Fiverr, where you could just find people on there who are willing to hire you for certain prices that you set yourself. I went a different route where I just seeked out clients myself by looking at my hometown and reaching out to local businesses. Since I know how to program, I made websites for them while I was traveling, and I could set the price on the website that I was building depending on the size of what I was building for them. So if you have any skill that you could monetize, whether you know about social media, if you know how to program, if you know how to copyright, any of these skills that you could do online while traveling is a great way to make money while you're going or living somewhere else. As I said, it can be a bit harder to find clients yourself, as that's nearly almost the same as making a business. I would say it's the better method than using one of the sites because there is a lot of competition on there. So while it's still something I would recommend if you don't feel comfortable trying to reach out to people and ask them if you could build something for them or do work for them online, then using Upwork or Fiverr or any of those sites that allow you to do freelance work for different contractors and stuff, that is probably going to be the best option for you. But either way, doing freelance is a great way to make some money while you're traveling. And another great part about it is you could work whenever you want. You have no set specific hours that you have to work, say 9 to 5 like a regular job. You just work, and once you get the work done, it's over. You don't have to work a certain amount of hours, it's just that you need to get the work done. That's why I think freelancing is one of the best ways to make money while traveling, since it doesn't lock you into having to work at a certain time. The second method is getting a remote job that doesn't have set specific hours. Some examples of this are tutoring. In the past, I worked for tutor.com and I was making about $21 to $24 an hour. After working there for a longer amount of time, you would start to make more. But I could take clients at whatever hours of the day I wanted, and I just had to spend at least 20 hours online awaiting clients or taking clients. If I wasn't available for 20 hours, they would give me like 1 or 2 weeks to catch back up to that, and if I failed after that, then I would lose the job. But it was a really good thing to do while I was traveling because it was super easy to log on at whatever hours I wanted to get those hours in, and then when I was done, I could front load all the work at the beginning of the week if I wanted to, or at the end of the week, and then I had the rest of the time free. However you want to split it up, but it's a really great way to make money traveling as well. Another example of that is AI training. I also spent some time working for a company called Data Annotation, where you just had to take some tests and see if you were a good client fit for them, and if you were, then you were just answering questions, or even I had a friend who was doing this for playing video games. They wanted to train AIs on this video game data, and basically you just sign up for these different projects and you get an hourly wage. Depending on the project, you could make like say from $15 to $40 an hour. And another great part was you could literally work at whatever hours you want. There was no minimum, and you could actually make a lot of money if you wanted to put more time into it. I believe that there's still a bunch of companies around like this. I did that job around about a year ago, so I haven't done it in a while, but it's definitely a great way to make money, especially since you can do it at any time you want and no minimum as well. The third method is working a regular 9 to 5 job, but remotely. This can either be through working your current job if you could negotiate remote work with your company, or you could look for completely remote jobs on websites like We Work Remotely and Remote OK. If you work at a company that already has people working remotely, or if you're able to do your work remotely, then talking to your company and seeing if you'd be able to work remotely would be a great option for you as well. The only problem with this is, depending on the company you work at, some of them deal with information that make it so you can't work outside of the country. Especially with a lot of medical or financial jobs, they don't allow you to work outside of the country that you're from due to the sensitivity of the data that you're working with. However, it's still worth talking to your company and see if there's any openings or positions that would allow you to work remotely, and then you could work your same job but remotely. An upside to this is, especially if you have a salaried position, you're still going to be making a lot of money while traveling. However, a major downside to this method is that you're very limited in the amount of time that you have to travel because it's a full 9-to-5 job. You're going to be working 40 hours a week as well. Something you could try is if you are going to ask for remote as well, if you're able to take on a, say, part-time role instead, you could also try negotiating for that if you don't need the money for other things. Say if you're supporting a family or something where you need the full-time salary, if you're able to switch to a part-time role, that could free you up more time to do traveling while still making a good amount of money. Method 4 is doing an online business or social media type business where you could be making content, say for YouTube or Instagram or Facebook or TikTok, anywhere that you can make ad revenue or sell your own items on there as well, and also starting an online business. The problem with these two is, first of all, it takes a lot of time to start up, so you might not have a lot of time to travel in the beginning. You might be more focused on building the business. The other issue is that it takes a lot of time to build this business up and have enough money to support yourself while traveling. You could probably reach a few thousand after maybe a year or so. However, it does still take a year to get to that point. So if you're in no rush, then it's a great method because you'll free yourself from location and most of the time as well, because you could then down the road hire people. But although it is one of the best methods for the long run, it still takes a while to set up. And I think this is something to do later down the road. I think start with maybe even the first method or the second method and work your way up. Because especially if you're already doing freelance, then you could eventually make that into, say, an agency of some type. If you're doing website design, you could then hire people and start to have them build the websites where you're already getting the clients. So this could be a very good advanced method, but it's definitely not for everyone. Now the fifth method and the final method is less so about making money, but it's about saving money before you go and then making the money last the longest. So I've also done this method where I've saved up a good amount of money before leaving for travel. You'll definitely want to calculate what like 6 months to a year will look for you in traveling and try and save up that amount of money while working a job. And then you could leave the job and just live off the money while traveling. And you could even cut costs even further by making sure to buy groceries in the country or wherever you are on the trip rather than going out to eat at restaurants. You could even volunteer or work at places that will give you accommodation in return for working, such as working at a hostel where maybe you won't get money from it, but they'll give you free accommodation to stay there so you could make your money last even longer. So you're still kind of saving money, but you don't have to spend any more to have any housing. I've heard people refer to this method as like a mini retirement because you're saving up for a specific time, then you're using that money across an extended amount of time, and then you could always return back to a job or a regular 9-to-5 if that's what you want to do. But this is a great method if you don't want to focus too much on working, because for some people that can take away some of the magic of traveling. So doing this method is great if you just want to enjoy the experience the most possible while still having some money. And if you have enough, you could even go into investing to maybe make a little bit on the side. Of course, that takes years and years to grow as well, but you could go into different types of investing as well if you have enough for it. But living off a certain amount of money that you know is going to support you across that whole time is a great method for traveling as well. I hope you found this video useful and that it helps you to travel and make money at the same time and enjoy your travels even more. If you end up using any of these methods, I would love to hear in the comments which one you used and how it worked out for you so other people can hear and learn about your experience as well. If you want to speak directly to me or learn more directly from me, my free WhatsApp community is linked down in the description. And I'm going to be making much more videos like this in the future, so I definitely recommend getting subscribed. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.